The LG Procast, the podcast, is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views or opinions expressed by the podcast hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect the official position of LG. For the latest and most accurate information about LG products, please consult relevant product manuals and related documentation. The information provided in this podcast episode is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representation or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or suitability of the information for any specific application in the following discussion. LG and those posting or otherwise providing information, content, or material are not responsible or liable for any consequences relating directly or indirectly to any action or inaction you take based on the information, content, or other material on the podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the LG Procast. I'm Phillip Kriegbaum.
And I'm Terry Frisenda. We are excited today to speak to you and have an LG associate, actually. Mr. Guy Minnix is joining us. And Guy is, I'm going to let him introduce himself, but Guy manages our LG Pro Builder. We'll get into what that is, but we're excited that he's here, and we're excited that LG has committed resources to developing this LG Pro Builder. So, Mr. Minnix, welcome to the LG Procast, and please let the folks know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thank you, Terry and Phillip. Good morning. As Terry mentioned, my name is Guy Minnix. I'm Senior Director, Head of Builder for LG's Pro Builder team at LG Corporate. Our LG Pro Builder team is made up of 75 people across the country, mainly from the appliance industry, with as a team with almost 1,200 years of combined experience. That team is tasked with our LG, what we call our hypergrowth strategy, so that we can go after the builder business, both single family, multifamily, designer, architect, remodeler type business with the brands that we have responsibility for here at LG. So the three brands that we say grace over are LG, LG Studio, and then SKS, which is our luxury brand that we use in the appliance industry. And our focus is to go talk about, sell the appliance, LG appliance brands to builders, to distributors, to designers, to remodelers all across the country, and to get the LG name out there in the marketplace. LG has been in the builder business for the last 8 years with a limited number of people. LG determined that it was time to launch a hyper-growth builder strategy for the LG company, and it's been very successful now in just a short 18 months with our team. We have a very focused B2B strategy, business-to-business strategy that we have launched across the U.S., partnering with all of the influencers in the industry. We also partner with all of the acronyms in the industry, such as NAHB, NKBA, BKBG, AIA, ASID, NARI, FEI. And so we are partners with all of those institutions to let them know about the power of our brands, as they also influence builders in the space that they are in. What I also love about what we do is that we partner with our partners across the LG corporation, such as the HVAC team, the heat pump water heater team, the flat screen team, and we partner and we bring solutions to developers all across the country so that we can do a one LG solution. In fact, we are involved right now with a couple of developments across the country where everything is going to be all LG, and we love that. And we would encourage developers to reach out to the HVAC team or to the appliance team, because we have each other on speed dial, and we are always giving each other leads and partnering with our folks across the aisle so that we can go after these big developments. So that's what we do. Terry, I'll turn it back over to you and Philip and see if you have any specific questions.
Well, one of the things that kind of struck me by surprise, Guy, what is the percentage number of people in the United States that have something LG in their home? When I hear that number, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the latest number is, but I know that it is upwards of, from what I understand, upwards of 60 to 70%, Terry, of
Yeah.
people that have something LG in their home, whether it was the phone, it was the flat screen, it was an appliance, um, it was an HVAC system, or something to that. So the portfolio that LG has is amazing across the country, and we're even into the automobile industry with the panels that are in some of the luxury automobiles. That
Right.
LG actually makes the panels that are in those luxury cars.
As I can share, the number is 88%. That's the new number from
Wow,
from the industry standards, which is just phenomenal. That 8 out of 10 people have something LG in their home.
great.
And to Guy's point, when we're trying to, or when we're in front of a builder, developer, architect, engineer, and we have that kind of brand equity, that kind of brand strength, um, we don't get to have to, or we don't have to spend time trying to sell a name or a brand. We get opportunities to talk about the technology and the products and the applications. So that's pretty beneficial from my standpoint, and I'm sure Philip would agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just think about how powerful that logo is, that brand is, that people just, they know it and they trust it. And there's just that sense of, okay, I'm familiar with that. So yeah, I want that product. I know that they have a good reputation and things like that. And I think about our audience here, typically HVAC contractors for the most part. And a lot of these guys and ladies do new construction, and they work with builders and they have relationships with builders. And one of the things that I think that they could take away from this is, LG has a full solution, and we haven't specifically talked about it, but all of the LG appliances run on the ThinQ platform that the LG air conditioning also runs on. So I'm thinking, these contractors have these relationships with builders that they could present in a one LG solution and begin that conversation. And bring your team in. Guy, I've had the pleasure of working with several of your people recently. As Terry and I work on the HVAC builder side, and specifically a couple of homes that are going up, not a huge project, but a nice project in the Tennessee area in Nashville. The builder came to us and said, I want everything LG possibly makes to go in these homes. I want to brand it as a powered by LG home. That was his kind of tagline. To the point where we got LG houses involved, and they're doing the flooring and the countertops. Your team is doing the appliances. We're doing the HVAC with some of our VRF systems, the multi-VS system, and the houses are going up right now. But so far, it's just been a huge win. But kudos to your team; they've been amazing to work with.
Yeah, well, thanks, Philip and Terry. And Philip, you bring up a good point, and that is the ThinQ application. I've been doing this a few years, exactly 40 years in the home appliance industry. Started when I was really young. So now you can use,
Yeah.
um, but the ThinQ app is what I love the most about our products in the appliance industry. It's not just a ability to be able to turn your dishwasher on from the office. Because number one, you've got to remember, did I even close the door and did I put soap in it? But it is a service diagnostic tool that goes across all of the LG platforms. And when builders and developers understand this, that it is a diagnostic tool that is connected via your home Wi-Fi to our service department in Huntsville, Alabama, we can actually pre-diagnose issues you may have because you're connected to your Wi-Fi via the ThinQ app. And that app goes across LG flat screens. It goes across the heat pump water heater. It goes across the HVAC systems. And there's not a better app in the industry to connect all of your appliances together, because our team in Huntsville can actually send software downloads to you, and we can actually upgrade the system that is in your home, whether it's a refrigerator or a range or a dishwasher or whatever it is, via the app, because you're connected via Wi-Fi. You can actually use the app to determine how much energy you're using. And if there are off-peak or on-peak hours that you need to avoid or use because of the ThinQ app. Every builder, whether single family or multifamily, should be using LG appliances because of the ThinQ app, because of the service diagnostic piece of that app that comes that LG has. And we continue to grow and expand it to where multifamily people can be able to, have a diagnosis to look at all of the living units that they have in a multifamily complex. So it is an incredible tool that is not talked about enough, Phillip. So thanks for bringing that up.
Let me tell you firsthand experience. I came home from a business trip. I actually got home on Monday, and if I'm a good sales folks, all the neighbors around me have LG air conditioning and LG appliances, and most do. So as I pulled in my driveway, my neighbor came over and she said, "Hey, my LG refrigerator's got this service app, blah blah blah." So we walked her right through the LG ThinQ app, got her service set up, boom, and she didn't have to do anything. It was all done right there from her phone. So first-hand experience with that as of Monday of this week. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great app. Yeah, it's a great app.
So LG Pro Builder, personally love the name, right? I've been working with your group for the 2 years now, from that first meeting in New Jersey where we were together. And I got to tell you, I'm excited that there's 75 or 80, whatever the number is, industry professionals who have 1,200 years of relationships that allow the HVAC side of our business to share those resources and to share those contacts and to create, like Phillip said, create opportunities for each other. I tell the guys that work on the HVAC side, and when they have a question, well, do you think the builder team is calling on this builder? And I'm like, I can promise you, right? If they haven't, they are. All right. Your reach and the the depth at which you hired these folks is amazing. You mentioned 3 levels of appliances. I wondered, from our HVAC audience, I wonder how many of those folks even knew that. Everybody knows I can walk into the big box and see the stuff that LG makes, but LG Studio and SKS, those are probably 2 new names or new brands for our audience. You want to speak a little bit about SKS and Studio?
Sure, be glad to. What I failed to mention earlier is the brand is so powerful that now the LG brand on the retail side of the spectrum is the #1 brand share player in the US. So
Wow.
LG brand has more market share than any other appliance brand in the industry. And that is a very, very powerful brand. So here we have this powerful brand that at retail that now we are moving over and taking the power of that over to the builder side, from the retail side. But the beauty of our portfolio is the 3 branded portfolio that you mentioned, Terry. LG brand, LG Studio brand, and SKS. And we cover every price point spectrum in the appliance industry for builders, whether it's base grade, first upgrade, second upgrade, or luxury. We can cover with our 3 branded portfolio. And then one other thing to note is that our laundry business, LG Laundry, whether it's a top load or a front load, is an amazing product with technology and quiet and functionality. Now with the new AI knob on some of our models, artificial intelligence knob that senses the loads and et cetera. Then Terry, you mentioned SKS. SKS is our luxury brand. It's only been in existence for 8 years, but my goodness, the market share that we are taking and the reliability scores that we're getting from consumer magazines are amazing. And the technology that is built into that brand is also amazing. 8 years ago, 9 years ago, LG thought about buying an existing luxury brand in the market and determined that they would rather just build what they want from ground level. So they started and built the brand from ground level, with built-in refrigeration, with pro cooking, with 30-inch, 36-inch, 48-inch, all of the columns, all of the range tops and the cooktops and the dishwashers. And the beauty of what I love about the SKS brand is that the technology that they have built into each of the products is amazing. Um, um, a lot of consumer studies have gone on, and SKS is focused on the individual or couple that loves to cook, loves technology, and we call this person the technocurian. So that's the consumer segment that we're going after, is people that love to cook and love technology. And when you actually look up close at the SKS product and you look at the technology that's built into the product, you'll be absolutely amazed. Being an appliance nerd like I am for 40 years, I've got SKS in my home, and I am blown away at the quality and at the technology that is embedded in each of our products, with high precision brass burners, and convection cooking, steam oven, um, you name it. And now we have a new series that we have launched that actually has a camera inside the oven door, so that when you open your oven door and close it and you put your food in first, close the door, the camera identifies what it is that you have put into the oven, and it will suggest recipes that will show up on the control panel. So, I mean, who does that, right? And
Right.
so the technology is amazing. I love the brand. And, we've got developers that mainly in multifamily that will put LG on the bottom 2 or 3 floors. They'll put studio in the middle, and they'll put SKS on the top 1 or 2 floors. What a great way to build a high rise development. And then they'll put LG HVAC systems in the building, and they'll do heat pump water heaters also, because the heat pump water heater is another amazing um, piece of technology. It actually looks like an appliance. So if a water heater can be attractive, we have an attractive water heater that is also heat pump. We have a great portfolio. I love our 3 branded portfolio. Um, and then with, magazines like Consumer Reports stating the most reliable brand in the industry, and now the #1 market share player in the industry. And the fact that we can cover all price points, and the fact that we can bring our HVAC brethren with us, and we can do a, HVAC um, development. It's like, what else is there, right? What else, what it's an incredible partnership with an incredible company with really high quality product.
From our perspective, from the HVAC team's perspective, and from our contractors and installers, I mean, when they're in front, to Philip's point, when they're in front of a builder and they can say, hey, listen, we can, this can be an all LG driven home, right? And there's strength in that, because from a builder's perspective, limiting the number of outside vendors and partners means they can save money. If they don't have to write 5 checks or 6 checks or whatever, but consolidating vendors is an option for saving money for builders, and they appreciate that. But just to be able to stand in front of that builder as a contractor and say, I'm already HVAC team for LG, and we have an appliance package from LG Pro Builder. To Phillip's point, we have solid surfaces for countertops. We have flooring. There's just so much that the LG Pro Builder umbrella has in it. I think it's a wonderful time to be a part of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And then, like
yeah.
Guy said, having everybody on speed dial, HVAC guys being able to reach out to appliance guys and even video and television people, just really makes that, from a builder, they've got so many different subs and so many different vendors that they're dealing with, that as we can reduce those, especially some of the big, major, important ones, or work with their designers, because some of these homes, the interior designer has a lot of say on even the air conditioning. If we're wanting to do ductless models, I'm working on a home in Orlando where certain rooms needed a ductless unit just because we couldn't get ductwork into these rooms. And it was like, okay, well, we have to bring the interior designer in to help select which indoor units we're going to use. Having one team of LG people that can meet with the designer to approve the appliances and the HVAC and everything, just, I think of it as a builder, and I've never personally built a house, but I've heard how complex sometimes it can be. And I understand that world a little bit, man. Being able to reduce that number of people and just having all of your appliances, your HVAC on one team where they all communicate together, just seems like a dream to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's what builders and developers love about the portfolio of products that we bring to the table. And it's interesting, as I travel around the country a lot and visit with developers, they're looking for solutions like this. And what's interesting, Phillip and Terry, is that because people have grown up with some sort of LG product in their hands or in their pocket or on their wall, now those people are also buying homes or renting apartments, and they're asking for LG products, and so that's a great solution to be able to do that. And there's not there's limited number of companies that can actually do what we do. And then you take and throw the ThinQ service diagnostic tool on top of that. And the fact that we, also have our own warehouses owned and operated by LG. So it's like all LG involved. And we can partner with our builders in any number of ways. And whether it's an HVAC distributor that also sells appliances or gets leads and can turn those over to us. It's like an amazing company to be able to do as many things as we can do, and then complement every home or every development with HVAC LG branded. It's a great concept.
Yeah. And I know we still bring in some of the equipment from some of our factories overseas, but LG's made some pretty large investments into manufacturing in the US. Can you speak to some of that a little bit? What all we build here and the investment in the US? And I know that that's growing.
Yes, it is. Clarksville, Tennessee is our first factory, US-based factory, where we build laundry, washers and dryers there. And I saw a picture the other day where we have developed the second large pad on the ground that we own there. And we're going to be able to almost double the production that we have there currently, because of the popularity of the LG laundry. And we own a large parcel of land in Clarksville, Tennessee. I believe the number is we have up to 8 pads that we can actually build factories on. And we're 45, 50 minutes north and west of Nashville, downtown Nashville. wonderful factory, very automated, but yet with a lot of local people involved working there as well. And we continue to grow and expand. And, fortunately, we have factories all over the world, and we're shipping product and manufacturing product. And the beauty of our manufacturing competency is that we have flex manufacturing where we can move products around to different factories around the world. And our factories, I promise you could eat off the floor. They're so clean. It's just a great concept. And but we continue to grow our presence in the U.S. as well. And then, of course, we have our big corporate headquarters in New Jersey. So, yeah, great concept.
I can tell you that we are also building our traditional looking air handler. We've begun to build that in Huntsville, Alabama as well, utilizing some space that we had there. So like appliances, the HVAC side has moved some production to the U.S. And certainly in today's economic times, that's probably going to be very beneficial.
Yes.
Right. It's pretty expensive to ship air handlers because you ship a lot of air, no pun intended, but excited about the fact that that's going to be a U.S. built product as well. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
And I know real quick, I wanted to throw one more thing in there. And I know our topic has primarily been about Guy and his team, but as we have builders and HVAC contractors on here who work with builders who may have looked at LG HVAC in the past and just said, hey, it doesn't meet the price point that my builder wants to be at. He wants some, entry level products that are more price competitive than what LG has offered historically. Pretty excited about a new series, the CV series, the contractor value series that's inverter driven. So you don't lose any of your inverter benefits, but it's going to be a line of air handlers and outdoor units, heat pumps that are going to be price competitive with the legacy American brands and other import brands. If you guys haven't looked at LG for your new construction because, hey, you priced it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and the technology didn't meet the price point that the builder wants to be at, let's revisit that conversation because we've got some products and I've seen some initial pricing on it that's really going to help us be competitive with some of those brands that they're using right now. So we actually can do that whole LG without having to be at a price point where the builder just says, no, it's not what I want to do. But we can do that one LG home at a very competitive price. And then of course you're going to have inverter. Everything that we make is inverter based. So you get the extra comfort that you get there. So just kind of want to throw that nugget out there.
Listen, I know we're running up on time restraint here, but Guy, thanks for taking the time on this morning. I know how much Guy travels because I reach out to him on a frequent basis, and he's like me. We're somewhere on an airplane or airport or hotel. So he was home this week. We snagged him. I hate to take his personal time, but LG Pro Builder is a very important part of the refocused LG, the LG that's after. To Phillip's point, after capturing this business segment that exists in America for building new homes and even replacing existing systems to capture more share and make people's lives better, which is what LG is about, right? Life's good.
Right.
We're about trying to make people's lives better. So thanks for joining us.
You bet.
From all of us here at LG, thanks for what you guys do.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for the partnership.
Thanks again, Guy. And to everybody out there, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you hanging out with us for about a half an hour, and we will see you on the next episode of the LG Procast.
This episode of the LG Pro Podcast was recorded by LG Electronics USA Inc., LG, and features a discussion between LG hosts Terry Frisenda and Phillip Kriegbaum, with Guy Minnix, Senior Director, Builder Sales, about the LG Pro Builder Program and the LG brand portfolio, including LG Studio and SKS. LG, the LG logo, and ThinQ are registered trademarks of LG Corp.